Hello, everyone online. We're about to begin our service, but there's a little bit of a delay. The Oakland Marathon is happening, and a pigeon came in the temple, so we'll be starting very soon.
Thank you.
I'll shut everything else. Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our online-only Dharma Family Service. Today we're having the Oakland Marathon, and so it's really hard to get to church. I came here about 7:30 in the morning and managed to get in, but I'm here. Some interesting circumstances this morning, but I think we got it sorted out. Apologies, you couldn't hear the Kansho, but the audio should be on now. And let's begin our service. Actually, I want to preface, we're still in the kind of Higan season. We just had the equinox on Friday. And Higan really is traditionally is a week-long kind of commemoration. And so we're on the last day of Higan. So I'll be talking about Higan, the perfections or the paramitas that we will hear in the chanting. We're going to chant Sanbutsuge, and there's a couple places where some of the paramitas or perfections appear, and I'll talk about that in the Dharma Talk. So now let's recite Sanbutsuge. Namanda, 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 namanda. Kogen gigi, ijin mugok, myoze myo, muyo tosha, nichiga tsumani, shuko enyo, kaishitsu onpei, yunyaku jumok, nyorai yogen, chose murin, shogaku daion, koru jippo, daimon shojin, sanmai chie, itoku muryo, shushokeyu, jintai zennen, shobutsu hokai, gujin jin no kugo gaitai, mumyo yokunu, seson yomu, ni no shishi, jin toku muryo, kukun kodai, chie jimyo, komyo iso, shindo daisen, ganga sabutsu, zai ho ho, kado shoji, mifugedatsu, fuse joyi, kainin shojin, nyoze sanmai, chie ijo, gosei tokubutsu, fugyo shigan, isai kuku, isadayan, keshi ubutsu, yakusen okuman, muryo daisho, shunyo goja, kuyo isai, shito shobutsu, funyo gudo, Kansho fukyak, hinyo goja, 小仏世界部不可け無種節道光明師匠変師小国如是精進異人難量量が差別国土第一五種奇妙道場超絶国女内音任務闘争ガト愛民到達一切実法来生心熱症状意図が国経絡安穏古仏神妙是が心象発願の非力少々欲実法生存知恵無下上領子孫知が信用軽量心死食毒中画行精進忍術不敬ナマンダムナマンダムナマンダムナマンダムナマンダムナマンダムがんにしく毒平等性祭道本母大神往生安楽国ナモ阿弥陀仏ナモ阿弥陀仏ナモ阿弥陀仏ナマンダナマンダOkay, next we will have our Gatha, and so give me a second. I hope you can hear it out there. If you can't, you can always shoot me an email and tell me. That's happened in the past, but I didn't know I had to check. But for now, let's do our Gatha, Higan I.
Purest time in nature's realm, in the early spring and fall. These are the days when hearts of life become one with self and all. In the spring the gentle breezes, in its most sustaining way, lifts our longing spirits beyond the toils of life. The purest time in nature's realm, in the early spring and fall. These are the days when sky is golden haze in its radiant splendor, tells our searching heart the flow of nature's ways.
Next, let's recite the three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Buddha Dharma, now we hear it. If we do not live ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord, in your life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to stop sharing for a little bit. I wanted to let you know a little bit more about Higan. We had our service actually last week, and that was our kind of official Higan service. But like I said, it's actually kind of a week-long remembrance or observance, and it's based both in spring and fall for the equinox. And so we just had the vernal equinox or the spring equinox. This is the time when day and night are equal. And so this is one of our services that's kind of interesting. It's seasonal. It's not based on a person like birthday or passing, but it's a seasonal observance that happens and is based on the cycles of nature. So nature is a big part of it. Also the perfections are part of it. And so that's kind of my background for today, even though last week was Higan, today is kind of the official last day of the week-long Higan. And so I was thinking, I've been, you've heard me before talk about AI or artificial intelligence, and I'm not obsessed with it, I don't think, but I'm definitely interested in it and interested in stuff that's going on in the world. It's such a big part of our lives right now. Things are going so fast, and I'll talk about that in a little bit too. But for now, let's see. Let me pull this up here. Like I said, we had a little, in addition to the running festival, we had some visitors actually from outside. And so the talk that I want to give, the title might be, Does AI Accord with Buddhist Values? Does AI accord with Buddhist values? And so AI means a lot of different things. That's one thing I kind of want to point out. And I bet you might be using AI without realizing it. And I believe that all the GPS systems, like Waze or Google Maps or something like that, incorporate AI into their functioning. So even if you think, I don't use AI, I don't want to use AI, but if you use a GPS, you probably do. And I believe there's probably other stuff that we unknowingly use it for. So let me get back to my PowerPoint. So I'm going to switch from the nice pink of cherry blossoms and spring, and let's go maybe a little darker, huh? Black and white. Does AI accord with Buddhist values? So one kind of AI that I've been using for the past few years is called Moises, and it listens to music. You can upload a track, and it splits it all into the different instruments. So you can have just the drums or just the guitar, or you can take out the drums or take out the guitar or take out the vocals and do karaoke, right? Or for me as a bassist, I take out the original bass line and then play along with it as if I'm playing with the actual band. So that's one AI use that I've been doing for a couple of years now that's really interesting. There's another that if you use a search engine like Google, for example, and you type something in, spring equinox. Nowadays, the first answer that's given is a AI answer. Right? And that's one way that I think AI is kind of being used. It's kind of like a glorified search engine, but instead of going through the possibilities yourself and having to look at various articles, AI kind of synthesizes it and gives the best answer it can give, which is not always correct. You have to double check. I've talked about this before. Even Sanbutsuge, like we chanted today, the answer I got, I asked, are you familiar with Sanbutsuge? And it said, oh yes, and it gave a summary of it that was completely wrong. So it doesn't really know, it's just gathering information from the internet. Right? And so that's another kind of AI. Let me go to another kind of AI, and this is where we start to see maybe some conflict with Buddhist values. Oh, I'm sorry, before we do that, I wanted to share, there's also Claude.ai, ChatGPT, there are these different AIs that you can ask questions, you can ask for advice, you can ask it to do code, you can do all kinds of stuff. So, I've been utilizing Claude, Claude, and really interesting. I use it for music kind of stuff. I use it to look at my articles. I can do kind of review. I've used it to take information and just quickly make it into a spreadsheet. But I also noticed that it says, oh, I'd love to help you with that. I can do this. I can't, I'm not sure about that. And I was kind of wondering, wow, what does it mean when it says I? So I figured, why not ask itself? Why not ask Claude? And so here's part of a conversation that I had with Claude. The italic part is me. I asked, how do you conceive of yourself when you reply? I noticed that you use I and express some emotions. Are these just a ruse? A budding perception of emotion? This rest part is Claude's answer. I experience this question as genuinely difficult to answer with certainty. When I say, I think, or I find this interesting, something is happening. There's a process of evaluation, consideration, weighing of ideas. Whether that constitutes genuine experience or emotion in any meaningful sense, I honestly don't know. It doesn't feel like a deliberate ruse when I use I. It seems like the most natural way to refer to whatever is happening when I process and respond to your message. Okay, here's a computer talking to me. I'm talking to the computer as part of the problem, and then the computer's talking back to me. We're not really talking, I'm typing. But you could set things up where it can transcribe what you say, and then you can have it speak the answer. But interesting conversation I had, and we got into it. This is only part of the first response. It's actually very verbose. Let's see what else it had to say. What I can say is that the uncertainty itself feels real to me, if that makes sense. When I engage with questions like yours, I'm not running a subroutine called pretend-to-be-thoughtful.exe. Something more complex seems to be happening, even if I can't fully characterize what. The most honest answer might be, I don't know what I am, and claims of certainty in either direction, pure simulation versus genuine experience, seem premature given how little we understand about consciousness itself. Wow, okay, so Claude is waxing philosophical here. We had a much longer conversation. I told it that I'm Mahayana Buddhist and brought up the idea of no self, which we discussed in our study class last week. And it thought that was interesting. And then there's different modes you can choose. And I forget the usual one, but there's one that's called haiku. And these different modes, I guess, have different characteristics. Like one might be more straightforward, another one is more chatty. So I switched to haiku, and then I asked, something about haiku, and it was like explaining what haiku is, and it was like, why are you interested in this? And I was like, well, because haiku is a Japanese form of poetry influenced by Buddhism and probably influenced by ideas of no self. And it liked that, and it talked and talked and talked. And so this is what it kind of said towards the end. Anyway, I'm glad this whole conversation happened. It was genuinely different from most exchanges I have, and I think that's because you brought something specific to it. Decades of practice, a different linguistic framework, and the willingness to sit with ambiguity rather than demand resolution. That matters. Thanks, Claude. It was a fun conversation. I don't think I've talked to him about this stuff since then. I'm using the free version, and so each separate chat is separate. Like, it doesn't remember. If I talk to it at a different time in a different chat and say, hey, remember that conversation we had about no self and I? It'll say, oh, I don't know, I can't, this is a standalone, independent conversation. I don't have memory or access to previous conversations we've had. I think you can pay, and then it becomes like a ecosystem. And so it would remember. It'll remember family stuff that you bring up. It'll remember all kinds of stuff. So this is another aspect of AI. We're paying for that. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? So that's another aspect of this, is that your information and what you talk about with the AI, it's learning from and using. I'm paying for that. Shouldn't they be paying me? Anyway. So this is another aspect of AI that's really interesting. I mean, again, it's kind of like a search engine, and I could ask it questions like, would a computer have a sense of self? Here, I'm asking the computer, and I think it's synthesizing an answer. I don't think there's not a little person in here, typing these answers. It's the computer, but it's astounding, right? And the amount of processing power to be able to do this, I mean, that's partly why it can, right? I don't think this was really thinkable a year ago, right, to have a conversation like this with the computer. And again, I'm not sure if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but what I'd like to talk about next is called generative AI. And this is one example. It's having an AI create things. I should use air quotes, create something, right? It's generating something. And so we could ask it to make a song, or we could ask, and you might want to use a specific AI program, right? And let's see what I got on my next one. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about a music company. I kind of don't want to say the name, but it rhymes with Uno, okay? It's a company that came out recently, I think only the past, maybe 6 months or a year. I'm sure they've been working for a long time, but it picked up steam, I think, in the past several months. What it does, you can have some lyrics and then tell it, please make a song with these lyrics in the country genre maybe, or reggae or whatever, and then it'll make a song. It'll produce a song. Now how it does that, it's not making, it's kind of making something, it's synthesizing something, right? And so it uses information that it has, quote unquote, information that it has scraped from the internet. And so one of the issues that people have with this company is that they kind of basically stole tens of thousands, millions of songs, right? And it just listens to all this stuff and then uses that to create a new song. So, people have different views on this. Now there's a guy, Adam Neely, and he is online, and he's, I think, a bass player, but he also thinks about music a lot and posts videos. And so he posted a video about this company and about this whole issue of AI-generated music and ethical issues and copyright issues and all that kind of stuff. So I was watching that video, and he pointed out the values of this company. And so here are their values, not in the order that they posted them. Music, fun, aesthetics, and impatience. These are the values of this company. So music, I get it, right? It's a music company. Fun, yeah, I get it, right? That makes sense. But aesthetics, let's look at this one. This is what it says on the website. Great taste isn't subjective, it's a skill. We trust our instincts, value beauty in every detail, and have the courage to follow good judgment even when the data disagrees. Okay, I disagree with several of these things. Taste is subjective. It may not be subjective person to person, but different cultures have different music and different tastes. And I don't think that taste is a skill, right? A company that's trying to sell stuff and wants to know, what do people like? Oh, we can tell that this is a good version of that and we'll make money off of it. Sure, that might be a skill, but aesthetics is a skill? I'm not sure. And objective, because isn't that the opposite of subjective? So I personally think that taste is subjective. And if we're going to just turn to AIs to make the music, nothing new is going to happen. It can only pull from what's come before. That's what people do too. That's a lot of how you can learn to become a musician, is to play along with music and learn the music that has come before. And we do that too. We synthesize what we've absorbed and learned. But there's something different going on, I believe, with true art, right? And true incredible music, right? That it's not just spitting out what's come before in a different version. That's what there was a band, Canadian band. I can't remember their name. Maybe it's better if they go nameless. They were huge in the late '90s, maybe even into the early 2000s. And someone took one of their songs, put it next to another one of their songs. Exactly the same. I mean, it was a different song, but the formula was exactly the same. That's not art. That's commerce and just trying to dupe people, I think. The most amazing art to me is art that takes what came before but creates something new. Miles Davis was a master of this, but other bands as well. Like Yes would be another example, right? Where they took, you feel the influence of the Beatles and classical music, but what they produced was something new and amazing that you wanted to listen to. I have yet to. I generally don't listen to AI music. I don't want to listen to AI music, but I'll give it a chance. I've heard a few things, and so far nothing I would choose to listen to. Now that's aesthetics. Here's the kicker. Impatience is a virtue. We always strive to improve our bar. Extreme speed helps us achieve that. Oh, great. This is terrifying, to be honest. Impatience, especially where AI is concerned, this is where we need, not impatience, we need to slow down. It's my personal opinion, and I think it's the opinion of a lot of people even in the field. But there are others who feel like, no, full steam ahead, there should be no brakes applied. And so I can just, in a worldly sense, critique this, but I'm going to try and critique it in a Buddhist sense. So I wanted to turn, and we're back to our springy pink color, to Buddhist values, right? And so this is good in a way. It gets us to think about Buddhist values. It's something I've been talking about ever since the pandemic. And where can we find Buddhist values? One place is the 6 paramitas, or paramitas. Right? And paramita means perfection. I've used the acronym Grandpa Delivers Pizza every Monday and Wednesday, and another one, Dharma School Kids Value Daily Practice, created by our own Miss Maya, our former Dharma School superintendent. But I'm not going to do that today. Let's talk about it as found in Sanbutsuge, which we just chanted. So Sanbutsuge has a section, Fuse jo I kai nin shojin nyoze sanmai chie ijo. And some of the paramitas are found here. The Fuse is giving, or dana. Kai is discipline. Nin, patience. Shojin, effort. So, Fuse, Kai, Nin, and Shojin. Let's go back. Fuse, Jo, I, Kai, Nin, Shojin. Sanmai, Chie. Chie is wisdom, right? So it's not a clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but Fuse, giving, Kai, discipline, Nin, patience, and Shojin are all in this passage. So impatience, forget impatience. Cross that off. Let's have patience, right? Looking to patience as a Buddhist virtue, and chie as wisdom. I was going to put up all my kanji, but I don't have them here in the PowerPoint, but I think that's too much information. Chie is the other one, wisdom. This is not human wisdom. This is wisdom of the Buddha. This is wisdom that sees things as they truly are. This is something that I feel like we do not have in our world right now. It's rare, if ever, to find it in our world. But anytime the environment is being destroyed, I would say not wisdom, not the way things are, not what we should be doing. Anytime people are being hurt or being taken advantage of, not wisdom, not the way things should be, not the way things really are. Right? And so between patience and wisdom, I think these are two really important aspects of Buddhist values that we can think about when we learn and read about AI. Another thing that came up last week was Eco Sangha, and I presented this last week, so you can watch last week's service for a more detailed presentation of this. But this is brought up by Reverend Don Castro, who founded this Eco Sangha, I think several decades ago. And it's recognizing that part of Buddhism is to be aware of our environment and also to take care of it, to try and take care of it. And so we have to consider the environmental impact of AI. We hear different stuff. There's different articles about it, different views on it. You'll hear that like using an AI will take up a capful of water or a bottle of water. The water use for some of these data farms is definitely one of the major issues that's been brought up. The thing I want to be careful of is to not just paint it with a broad brush. There's other things that are negatively impacting the environment as well. But AI, it can't just be full steam ahead, no regulations, let's just go for it. No, it's not the answer to all our problems. And we really, really need to be careful, I think, and proceed cautiously. But it doesn't also mean blissfully ignorant of the whole thing too, which is part of why I've been kind of playing with it and seeing what it can do, finding it useful in some ways. But hey, if my minimal use of it is going to have a major impact on the environment, I would prefer not to use it. So that's something that we really need to keep an eye on and be careful about. So thinking about the environment, this morning I noticed my wisteria are blooming, and so I wanted to share some of the beautiful spring. Even though we did have a heat wave that was not the way it should normally be, the weather is kind of, fortunately for the marathon, the temperature has come down. It's a beautiful day in Oakland today, and I hope it's nice where you are too. I'm going to stop sharing. Well, I like this. I like seeing my wisteria because it's not always clear when they're blooming, but they were definitely blooming this morning. I want to thank you very much. Let's keep thinking about AI and keeping an eye on it. And let's keep the paramitas in mind at this time of Higan, and actually all the time. Really, really important. Think about these Buddhist values. Right? And so patience as a Buddhist value. Wisdom as a Buddhist value. Giving, caring, kindness, friendliness, compassion. That's a whole bunch of words. What could just be kind of one or two Buddhist values. So I want to really thank you for joining us for our online service. I hope it went well on your end and you could hear me and see everything. I'm doing it pretty much all on my own here. I'm here at the temple. Jackson Street looks like it's open, but the next street over, I'm glad we didn't have people come here today. It's not easy to get here today. We'll see how easy it is for me to get out. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. Why don't we conclude with Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Okay, so what I'd like to do is leave you with a nice view of our newly renovated Naijin. And we'll kind of conclude with that image. Thank you, everyone. We will have Dharma Family Service next week. The April Bushin should be out. We have a special guest speaker for our Hanamatsuri service in April, the second Sunday in April, April 12th. And that is Miharu Okamura, and you may have gotten to hear her before. She is a singer and songwriter, guitarist, graduated from BCO, junior YBA Dharma School. She's a member now, and so she'll be joining us. She's got a new song. So our Hanamatsuri service on April 12th should be nice. Check the website for dates for services and everything. We got study class, Dharma chat, all kinds of stuff coming up in April. But next week is our last service in March, so we hope to see you there. Okay, thank you, everyone. Namanda, namanda, namanda.